We're in a bunker style building. Excuse me. As you can see, we have slats and or a slat to shoot out of, and like 3 doors. Now, without indoor lighting on this map, and the sun is to the back of this building, there would be plenty of light to come in here. Probably about the same amount of darkness on this or in this bunker that there would be as far as, like, say maybe D-Day +1 V2 that's on the server. So if we wanted to just use our imaginations and imagine this was a closed off room with just one exit out and the entire map was indoor, and we went to run this map and there was sun outside, so we'll scratch the whole map being indoor. But if this building was bigger and it only had one way out and there was very little light shining through this door right here, an indoor light is obviously the next best way to go. So the way we do that is we go to our entity tool, indent that, come over here to our categories, leave that at entities, obviously. Right here in objects in the drop down menu, we're going to look for just light. It's named light. It's right under keyframe track and right above light dynamic. Go ahead and make sure we are still indented on our entity tool, put it in there in the camera window, and now you see the little light bulb here with the little square box around it. Now it's kind of an off-white, and the default on this is set at white. I need to go to my side view here and take a look at where my ceiling is, and this is a rough guess when you start getting a lot of lines in, so you kind of have to eyeball it in your camera view sometimes too, unless you've been keeping a real close eye on your ceiling. So there we have a light with no model light fixture above it, which you can also put a model light fixture above this and this light. But the bad thing about that is the model will already have light in it, and it will override the light we just put in. You can double click on this thing in the camera window, or you can right click it in your grid windows in order to get to its properties. And you notice you have brightness here. You can click on pick color. You can set these colors for anything. Indoor lights, a lot of guys like to use reds or blues or greens. I know those are my favorite colors as far as indoor lighting goes for war scenarios. You want to make sure your brightness HDR is set to your appearance. Now your appearance here, this is where like on I think it's Slaughterhouse, I picked one of these flicker, A or B flickers here, just under gentle pulse. These are how the light actually renders in its appearance. So if I had a fire under this particular light, like I did with Slaughterhouse, I used the orange colored lighting. I set all my brightness and HDR brightness to orange. And I picked, I do believe it was Flicker B, but it could have been Flicker A. You can experiment around. There's also strobe lighting in here, like I used on Slaughterhouse with the bright white light that was making everybody go into convulsions. Experiment around with this, these appearances and lighting on your maps. You might find something that works really well for you, but I thought the orange with the Flicker B was awesome. If you don't want this to render any kind of effect, just leave it at normal, because it's already set at default in the drop down list as normal. These other things here, maximum distance, percentage fall off distance, and all these things right here, the linear and all that, all this constant is all set for default. I wouldn't worry about any of that when it comes to indoor lighting. There are other lights also. I'll click on my entity tool here and we'll go back over to the objects drop down menu. Lighting.
Like dynamic or light spot.
Yeah, light spot. That's what I wanted to show them next. I'm glad I got you here to remind me of that stuff. Now you can see this light has a totally different shape. And over here, I don't know if you can make this out in the grid window, but it has a totally different look to it. Now this thing, if you click it and you get these four little circles here that help you kind of angle your light. If you look as I turn it here, you can see it angling in my camera window. You can angle this kind of spotlight thing, and these are really cool. A lot of dudes that build maps for us and other clans as well use this style of lighting. A lot of guys like this. I happen to like the spotlight a lot. As you can see, the brighter color in the top half here, and then it kind of fades out toward the bottom half here. This is where your brightest part of your light will be, toward the top. And these make some really really neat effects, especially when they're angled at doors and things of that nature. If you were in a building that had 4 or 5 or more rooms in it, you might think a whole lot about using spotlighting, especially at the tops and bottoms of stairways. In the middle of rooms, I don't know if I would suggest it, but maybe. I mean, if you wanted to kind of keep it a little bit dark in there, these things work beautifully on really long hallways. The spotlights do, and it's the same holds true for these. You just click on your selection tool and double click them to get to their properties, or you can right click them as well in your grid window. Go to the bottom of the list there and pick properties. Same thing applies. You have your brightness here, your HDR, and your appearance. Your pitch yaw roll will be automatically set to however you angle it, like I just showed you how we angled it. As soon as you angle it in your grid window, that's the way it'll be set. All this is the exact same way as the light bulb. You can pick your brightness and your brightness HDR colors and go in there and basically toy around with it. Awesome. There's no end to lighting as far as indoor lighting goes. It's all in the entities, objects drop down menu, and then just take your time and look through your lighting. You can look into light dynamic, maybe go into help topics and read up on a lot of lighting. I have in the past some awesome neat little tips and tricks on things in there as far as lighting goes. A lot of neat tips and tricks on just about anything in help topics if you take your time to read it. But these are basically the indoor lights, and there's not much more to say. I think I've pretty much covered it all, unless you can think of something, Lisa.
I can't think of anything. I use the light bulbs on
this regular light right here, over here.
Yeah, on Castle for the chandelier that's hanging in the kitchen, if anybody remembers.
This one?
Yeah, I use the light bulb and just kind of put the light bulbs where the candles would have been and just left them steady on. I didn't think I should do a flicker effect or anything like that. I just left them straight on. But I used the light bulb for that map. I've used the spotlight on a couple of my maps that are no longer around, and a lot of the new guys wouldn't remember them. So, but yeah, I love playing with the lights. It makes it interesting and causes a bunch of neat little effects.
Yeah, that's the thing about lighting, just toy around with it. And that's pretty much it. I probably kind of rambled on here about it, but I figured if I don't tell you guys things in detail, then I kind of feel like I'm cheating you out of all the fun and what the Hammer editor could be if I just rattle off a few things real quick and then leave you high and dry on the rest. So I hope that helped you out on the indoor lighting, and play around with it. Like I said, experiment.